What's up, guys? It is Summer Electivire here, your daydream of summer while still in school. The month is April, and let's dig in deep for another Pokemon theory. If you guys saw my last one, I hinted to the fact that I might do another one. And after months and months of research, well, not really, I just crammed this in like 5 minutes ago, I decided that I think I could do a second Pokemon theory. I'm just kidding about the 5 minutes ago. Remember, Summer Electivire is completely pre-recorded, so it was in fact actually months and months ago. In addition, just a quick disclaimer before we bounce on in, all the research and thought was 100% made by me. If there's anything similar on the internet, that is completely coincidental, and I have no intention nor will to steal anybody else's work. Now that that's over with, it's theory time. So today's theory is, why are Charmander so scared? Oh, that's really easy. They just don't have the ability Guts. Oh, oops, I meant Scarce. Why are Charmander so scarce? Well, this will be a little tough to tackle. First off, let's take a good look at the evidence we have honey gathered. In any of the main series core games, it is impossible to catch a wild Charmander or even battle one in the wild. As far as I know, the only way is to go to a professor when you turn the right age. And the only other ways are in event or in Pokemon Yellow, where a trainer bestows a Charmander upon you. As you can tell, it's impossible to catch one. Good luck catching them all. Seriously. So how is it possible that anybody could capture a Charmander to give away? It is possible that Charmander may be extinct in the wild. The only known example of why a Charmander species would suddenly die off may lie in the anime. Personally, I prefer using the core games as an example, but the anime may work sometimes, even though it may be contrary to the games. In the first season of the anime, Ash saves a Charmander because it began raining. Take a look at this footage from episode 11 of the anime. Just a quick warning though, there are major plot spoilers. Don't want to be nasty or anything, but yeah.
You lied to your Pokemon and said you'd be back. Now it's waiting out there in the rain for you. And if its tail flame goes out, it'll die. She sure is pretty. I've never seen anyone as pretty as her.
What are you talking about? She looks just like all the other Joys.
Yeah, it's a joyful world. Alright, snap out of it! Oh no! The flame on its tail is almost out!
Let's get it to the Pokemon Center.
I'll make sure its tail flame stays lit!
Hold on! You can make it, Charmander! Will it survive?
Charmander is very weak.
As you can tell, it is pretty obvious that something major was going to happen to Charmander because of all the weather. As a result, it can be said that the rain was the reason that many, if not all, of the wild Charmanders were unable to survive in the wild. Inside of a lab or maybe in a Pokeball would be the only safe ways to actually survive. In every single region, it is confirmed that there is overworld raining. The only region missing is Kanto, but the anime takes care of that because it takes place in Kanto. Thus, it could be plausible that the rain could have wiped out all of the Charmander species. However, just because the anime makes a big deal of Charmander's weakness to rain, the games would need to confirm it as well. From the Pokédex entries of Charmander, the majority of the entries refer to the tail as being a way to measure how healthy or weak it is. However, Pokemon Fire Red and Y state, its life would end if the flame were to go out. That's pretty solid evidence. As a result, we now have solid evidence that Charmander dies if its tail on flame is extinguished. But how is that even possible? Well, in order to keep a fire running, you need heat, oxygen, and a source of fuel. It's possible that a Charmander's body could be able to use sugars or organic molecules or something to supply its fuel. The oxygen would be the oxygen that it swallows. Believe it or not, in the anime, Ash was actually supplying oxygen. So maybe he's not as dumb as we all think. But anyways, for heat, it could be supplied from an excessive breakdown of sugar. Of course, it's very improbable that something similar to this could happen in the real world. But this is Pokemon! If they can invent boxes that store Pokemon, and they continue to live, I'm sure this is easily probable for the Pokemon world. However, this will require a great amount of energy to use. So while a Charmander may be able to exert that much energy in, let's say, normal weather, the rainy weather may be too much for Charmander to keep generating heat for, especially with the rain constantly putting out the fire. Its flaming body will cause it to have to expend too much energy, sap sipping off of its HP and life force like a leech. Now another thing that may be confusing is Charmander's red, blue, and leaf green Pokédex entries. They state, when it rains, steam is said to spout from the tip of its tail. How is this possible? Well, water can put out fires because in its liquid form it is cool enough to not be water vaporeon, or steam, like the steam in a steam eruption. Especially in rain where the effects of rain dance are generally cold, the water can take away the heat aspect of the fire, putting the fire out. Remember, heat is a very important aspect in keeping a fire running. It's one of those three main things. Almost like three main types. Fire, water, and grass. Oh my gosh. But in addition, water changes temperature very slowly, so by the time it turns into steam, the water would have had a chance to put out the fire. As a result, the fire would be extinguished, but the Charmander would still be attempting to light the fire back up. While it may eventually cause its death, it would release a great amount of heat like a heat wave, making the water evaporate. In addition, according to more research, flames are hottest at the tip of the fire. So due to the rain, the tip of the fire would be at the tip of the Charmander's tail after it burns out. Thus, the majority of the water would evaporate and become steam at the tip of its tail, creating the effect that the steam almost water spouts from the tip of its tail. Now one more final thought. Charmeleon and Charizard's Dex entries don't mention anything about this. Well, why? Well, I propose that they are evolved forms and they should be able to have stronger flames and better methods of maintaining the fire on its tail. In fact, Charmeleon's Pokédex entry states, it elevates the temperature to unbearably high levels. Well, unbearably high levels could mean about 300 degrees Fahrenheit, which according to Dr. Stefan Svensson, I think that's how you say it, is what firefighters may encounter during their training. In the centigrade scale, that's almost 150 degrees. As we all know, water evaporates at 100 degrees in the centigrade scale. As a result, it could be said that Charmeleon should be able to evaporate the rain even faster than Charmander. So, it's protected against the rain. Because unbearably high is very uncertain, I cannot be sure of whether its heat even reaches that. For all we know, it could be less, it could be more. This is not solid proof. Also, since Charizard is the evolved form of it, it should blaze even hotter than that. But that's basically it. Charmanders are so scarce because they are unable to survive in their rainy environment. I know there are a few hoopa holes that can throw off a few of my arguments, but if you leave your thoughts in the comments below, I will attempt to take those down. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you found it interesting. If you have any additional thoughts or comments about this topic, feel free to post those in the comments below as well. Be sure to like and subscribe to show me that I did a decent job. Emphasis on decent, but if there's anything to improve on, be sure to comment it down below and I will definitely take those suggestions into account. But until next time, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching and I hope to SE you guys in the next episode. In the centigrade scale,